Sci-Fi Invasion. I'm your host, Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through all 50 movies in this 50 movie box set from Mill Creek in 50 weeks. And guess what? We're on the home stretch. We're on the last disc, the final 5 movies. Today's movie was called The Giant of Metropolis from the year of our Lord, 1961. So right off the bat, I want to say when I put this movie on, I assumed it was a different movie. And I was like, I've seen this one a bunch. I don't need to really fully pay attention. I know a lot of this movie from memory. Because when I was younger, I really liked the Film Crew. They only had 4 episodes. But The Giant of Marathon was my favorite one. And I used to show this one to people. So I assume, so for some reason I thought this, why not for some reason, I know why I thought it was this movie. Because this movie's called The Giant of Metropolis, and this is The Giant of Marathon. I think that's an easy mistake. But yeah, I was watching it, and I was just like, what's happening? I'm so confused. I actually had to rewind a little bit so I could get caught up. Initially, I thought it was swords and sandals versus aliens, but that's not what it is. It's basically like your typical Roman and Greek movie versus Atlantis. And in this movie, Atlantis is like, it's almost like an alien race. It's almost like a space station. What the alien people remind me of, well, they're not aliens, they're Atlanteans. They're Metropolis. They call it Metropolis in the movie, but sometimes they call it Atlantis. What they remind me of is the movie Beneath Planet of the Apes. Their world reminds me a lot of that. And they're trying to, the whole movie, they're trying to take energy from the Earth. And there's like Morlocks and like, I don't know how to describe them. There's like, it's almost like a Nosferatu looking guy saying like, don't do this. But the Atlanteans don't care. There's a subplot about a big muscly gladiator man trying to get revenge. He falls in love with a princess. It's your standard movie. I get very much the impression that this is a movie made up of the leftovers of other movies. Because there's weird science fiction elements. There's a lot of things thrown at this movie, like the Morlocks, the Atlanteans that look like they're on the set of a B-movie sci-fi film. And then there's the gladiator element. It's all just a mosh posh of things. It doesn't really work. In my opinion, it's not that entertaining. I think this would be a good candidate for like a riffing show, but on its own, it wasn't that much fun to watch. The moment I figured out what movie this was, that I realized it wasn't The Giant of Marathon, my first thought was, oh, at the end of the movie, this is before I realized it was Atlantis. Because I don't think they were calling it that at that point. They were calling it Metropolis. But I was like, oh, this city's going to sink. There's either going to be an earthquake or it's going to sink. And sure enough, I was right. That's the third act of the movie. And it ends really abruptly. The cavemen part of the movie was, it honestly just felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, I'm not joking when I said it was like the Morlocks from the Time Machine. It seemed to have no purpose. The movie's just incredibly cheap. There's a part of the movie where, like, I swear the Atlanteans are wearing moving blankets as clothes. There's an end fight scene where it looks like the gladiator guy has like antlers, like antlers, but they're like connected to his hands, and he's like awkwardly just tossing them at people like he's Wolverine. There's a scene where I think the goal of it was to get the gladiator guy to show off his muscles, but they didn't have any money. So they're like, okay, so the Atlanteans in like whatever BC this is, they have like force field technology. So they're just shining a light on this gladiator, and he's just bulging his muscles, trying to fight the light, and it's so blatant. It's longer than it really should be. Like, I was really surprised because the previous disc, these last 2 discs are the only discs on the set that have 5 movies. The rest have 4. The last disc, all the movies were about an hour long, give or take. Somewhere even under an hour. So I was assuming the same with this final disc, and that was not the case. Each one was about an hour 30, an hour 40, and yeah, so this movie did not need to be that long. It seemed like it was actually a waste of money to make it this long. I don't understand this movie. I do think it was made up of the leftovers of other movies. That's the only thing I can possibly think of. That's all I really have to say about it now. I would say watch it with friends if you're like into that sort of thing, but it's like I didn't find it that entertaining. I got a few chuckles here and there, but it wasn't a so bad it's good movie to watch on your own. Just in my opinion, that is not the case. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember, please be kind and rewind.